カスタマイズ。
Hello everyone, and welcome to Apply episode 25 of LostinTranslationmon. I'm May.
And I may or may not be Jay. And is that I am.
You haven't said that for a while. I missed it.
Which?
That you may or may not be Jay.
I don't remember ever saying it.
Well, I may be May. You say it like, there was like a period where the first, like, you said it for, I want to say like 5 episodes in a row.
That's okay. I don't remember stuff that happened last week.
You don't even remember this episode.
What?
Who are you?
Who
am
are you?
I? What's an Appmon? Appmon. Anyway, so this week we watched, finally, Infiltration of the Deep Web, the mysterious cyber Qualoon.
Yes.
Yeah. What were your favourite bits?
I guess just the bit where they go through all the numbered doors. That was fun.
Oh, and the guy who kept on eating, because you were annoyed at the second one, but you wanted the third time to happen.
I was like, now I'm invested in eating, dude.
Yeah, and he started off with ramen, and then he had spaghetti, and then he had burger. And by the third time, they just walked in, saw him eating, and left. They didn't even bother.
I identify with this hungry man.
Yeah. He is the best character. I kind of wanted, after they closed the door the third time, I kind of wanted him to lower the hood and it to be Afro Man, and he goes, no!
What? But he's not suffering. He's happy. He'd be like, finally.
Yeah, I don't know. I really wanted Afro Man to be one of the hooded figures.
That didn't make any sense.
I don't care.
Afro Man's only affected by virus Appmon. And there weren't any.
I think he's really suspicious.
What, Afro Man?
Afro Man, yeah.
How is he suspicious? He's been suffering through all of this.
But what if he is the big bad?
Why would he do this to himself?
Because I just feel like
it
makes people believe...
Because you feel like it?
I believe that it just sort of, it
the
sets
kids
him
have never
away.
met him.
Exactly.
What? No.
The bad guy doesn't have to be necessarily someone they've met.
I know that, but who's he trying to give the impression to? Bad stuff would happen to him when he's alone.
The viewer. I feel like the Afro Man is concerned.
Are you
with
ready
the viewer.
to get sandbagged forever?
Yes, but it makes me
It's
very
happening right
lonely.
now.
It makes me very lonely. Any other favourite bits? Because I kind of liked the little Splatoon Drawmon. It reminds me of Splatoon. I like Splatoon.
I'm sandbagging you, remember?
Oh my god.
Sandbagging right now. No, okay, fine. Yeah. Drawmon was alright.
He was cute.
He's more of a painter than a drawing, but I like that he signed his name, and it was all fancy because he's good at drawing.
Yeah, that was cute. And I like the fact that he betrayed them, because of course he did.
I wonder what that all in Japanese.
What?
When he wrote it down, because obviously that had to be changed for English.
No, this isn't official. They wouldn't have changed that. That was what it looked like.
Oh, it was written in English in the original?
Yes.
Weird, alright.
Yeah, no, this wasn't changed. This isn't like a high production, like, paid for fan sub. This is a fan sub that's done because they wanted to do it.
It's odd that it's written in English. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think it's because, like, Appmon aren't specifically Japanese.
Well, no, but there's a lot of Japanese in the show.
I think it depends on the person who programmed the app.
Oh, God.
So Roleplaymon is Japanese. And because it was programmed by a Japanese person, maybe Drawmon wasn't programmed by a Japanese person, and therefore their native language would be English.
I had this question the whole time, which was, if Drawmon's such a nice guy, why is he down here in Cyber Kowloon? And it turned out because he's not a nice guy, and it totally explained it. We don't know what the worm things are yet, though, and nobody even attempts to explain it, and it's unfortunate, because if the worms are Leviathan's things, and he's happy to work for Leviathan, why is the worm trying to kill him?
I don't think the worms work for Leviathan. I think they're just a rogue thing that just happened. I'm pretty sure at one point they said, oh yeah, they're just rogue. They just roam the deep web.
I don't think they ever said that, but... Okay.
I think they did. But when the first worm showed up, they were like, oh yeah, they just roam the deep web. And that's why there's one in the cage. I just feel like that's one they've caught.
That thing's gross.
They reminded me a lot of I forgot what they were called, the big tentacly things from Cyber Sleuth.
I don't know, I never played it.
Yes, you did.
What are you talking about?
You got at least the part with the tentacle thing. I forgot that one. I really need to play that game for the stream.
Digimon?
What is a Digimon? What are a Digimon?
I only know Appmon now.
Yeah, I really want more Appmon games.
But otherwise, this episode was fairly boring, honestly. We were told ahead of time, and I think this was a problem of expectations. We were told ahead of time, something incredible's revealed in this one. It's amazing, unbelievable. Hey, the episode might not be so good, but that reveal's great. And I'm sitting there the whole time thinking, okay, great, we're gonna get something really good, really good to make you think before they take a week off for the
recap.
Recap. But it might have been that when they took Hajime, they can reshape him.
Yeah, no, that was definitely... Because everyone said, oh, there's such a big reveal, and it's
That's
this
not
huge
a huge
thing.
reveal.
Well,
Like,
it's to
that
say
makes sense.
Hajime might not be exactly alive.
Okay, well, they
And then
might...
that's kind of dark.
Why would they ever kept him alive in the first place?
Mm.
The only reason they would keep him alive was to bait Ray.
Yeah.
But if Ray never knows that he's dead, then it doesn't matter. You don't need to look after this kid anymore. It doesn't surprise me that they can do something to this kid. I thought we'd learn something about Eugen. We'd learn something about Leviathan. It was just, no. Oh, you can change old Hajime.
Well,
and it was weird in the translation, I think. It says change what he looks like. It doesn't erase him as a person.
It changed his appearance, yeah.
Oh my god, his appearance will change.
Yeah, and that's just... Yeah, everyone was, like, hyping up this episode, and I feel like that actually made the episode not as good as it was, I guess, because everyone said, this is an amazing episode, it's Tamer's level dark.
No, I mean, we didn't... Once we see what he's turned into, and if he's been turned into, like, one of those jellyfish, which is kind of what was implied, then okay, maybe. But if he's just turned into, like, an Appmon, and now he has guns strapped to him, like, what are you going to do?
Like, what if he became the jellyfish that Globemon murdered?
Maybe, but you don't know.
I know. I feel like people were possibly reading into it a lot more and the possibility of what it could be. But I feel like it was an okay episode. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't, the string of bad episodes bad, but it was pretty close.
It felt really average. Like, there were enjoyable bits, the characters were funny, but honestly, now that I'm thinking back, I can't really think of a lot of times where that happened.
Yeah. I mean, the best part of the episode, the part that had us both chuckling, wasn't even necessary.
No, the doors you could have taken out. It was just like, oh, look what the cyber Kowloon is like.
It was for world building, and this was a very, heavy on world building episode, because we hadn't seen much of the deep web or anything, in the net ocean or whatever. So they're actually doing some world building, which is nice, and it shows that we have, some of that digital world weirdness, which I always really like, and they do plenty of that world building, but I don't know, I feel like maybe it's a good setup. It's probably a good setup for what's to come, but I feel that I didn't like this episode as much as I thought I was going to, because everyone was saying, oh, Tamer's level dark, such a good episode, amazing reveal that just took me by surprise, and it's like, yeah, we need a recap, we need, like, a cool down episode.
What? Like, who would ever feel that way?
A lot of people.
Oh, something is now possible. Nothing even happened. They just found out that something is doable.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, it would be like Tamer's level dark, right?
Mm.
Okay, think Frontier. Think somebody walks up to Takuya and says, did you know that if a Digimon shoots you with a gun, you would die? Mm. Oh my god, dark! Yeah,
and it's the reveal of, your data, but if you die here, you die for real. And we had the same sort of, we found that out about in Adventure and, finding it out for the first time. I like how Ray already knew, because of course he would.
I did like that.
And I like how we didn't have to have another 5 minutes because he wasn't with the group while he found that out. Because he just knew, because of course he did. Because he knows things. He's a hacker. He knows a lot more things than the kids do.
I like how he's still not really joined the team. He's just around them.
Yeah, he's in it for himself, and I like that. He's not just saying, oh yeah, oh well, you're my friends now. We're partners. We're buddies, and all the other Ken.
Yeah.
He immediately said, oh, we're friends now.
But Ken's different.
I mean,
Ken was mind controlled.
It took a few episodes.
But that wasn't because he didn't want friends. It was because he didn't know how to have friends, because he's a loser.
And then he realised, oh no, and then he jog-rest and was like, oh, and then he joined the team and he was kidnapped.
But in this one, it was Eri and Astra like, he's a crap teammate, isn't he? And Haru was like, look guys, his brother was kidnapped. It's okay.
Yeah, he said, well, for Ray, that's all that matters, because that's all that he's here for. And he doesn't really necessarily care about saving the world. He cares about saving his brother.
Yeah.
Haru, Eri, and Astra are all like, yeah, we have to save the world because we're the protagonists and that's what we do. Ray's just like, IDK, I just want my brother to not be dead.
Yeah, I mean, and then obviously I'll save the internet after that, but this is priority number one.
Yeah, and this is his priority. And I like how Haru is able to, realise that Eri and Astra aren't. They're just sort of like,
focus on their own stuff.
Yeah. And I like how Haru's always understanding.
He's very reasonable.
Onto negative bits, because I feel like there weren't a lot of negative bits, because it was just nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, there were no bits that said, this is annoying.
The negative bit was expectations that other people built up for me. So that's not really the episode's fault.
That's not the fault of the show. It's not a bad episode. It's not like the terrible episode. It is not, the 2 Astra episodes that we had? It's nowhere near that.
Yeah.
Because those were just, it's not boring.
There's nothing painful in this. It's just average.
Yeah, and it's not boring. There were no parts that I was bored during.
Yeah.
But
stuff happened.
The main negative is what I've already said, was that the best part of the episode you could have cut out.
Oh, you know what? The one negative I can really think of is where the kids were at when they finished and they escaped.
Yeah.
And the response is, I guess we'll go back there one day. They felt like there was urgency to it. Like they needed to be there because they got to beat Leviathan. And now their response is, I guess we'll get back to it. That's a really weird thing for them to say. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, that's fair. What about favourite character? Because mine's Haru, of course.
Of course it is.
Or Hackmon in the little hoodie, like when he puts the mask on.
Oh, it's cute though. I'm gonna give this one to Ray for that bit where he goes, I've got all the data on every world leader in the world in this USB. Mr. Information Dealer app. The information dealer's like, ooh, okay, and he's about to eat it. And he goes, well, you can't get me with a virus. That's a dumb plan.
And then it's
Ray's like, you have already been hacked.
And no, Hackmon's just kind of like, yeah, it's okay, buddy.
Yeah, that was great. I like when you see that's really clever. Like that's how it was almost clever with the way he did it, and then it's like, oh no, he just used Hackmon.
Miscellaneous
so
bits? Do we have any miscellaneous bits?
My miscellaneous, I did have one.
I'm hyped for Stellamon, because I have played him in the Appmon game, and I know who he's fusion of, but I won't say the important one, because it might be plot relevant, but the bit that I don't think would be super plot relevant is he's half of Tripmon, who is a...
travel app?
Yeah, he's like a travel app.
Okay, random.
And Stellamon is like a GPS app.
Okay.
So what do you think the other half is? Like
Globemon. No, okay. I don't care.
He's got the same voice actor as the other half.
He'd be tripping like an atlas. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is
I'm so hyped. I feel like that's gonna be so relevant. I hope it is.
My miscellaneous bit is that they explain the dark web is when I thought it was like, oh yeah, no, so the deep web there, I thought it was like the dark web in real life, just where like bad people go and they they do to buy drugs or hire hitmen or whatever it is you do in the dark web. It's not that. That's still surface web. The dark web is just the back end programming.
I don't think you know what back end programming is. Back-end programming is just like the C# and the if you're using ASP.NET Web Forms, that's just like the stuff, the code behind.
Yeah, that's what it is. They said that the service web is the 1% that individuals interact with, and then the other 99% is the stuff that's going on that they don't see.
Oh, like the databases. And
yeah, totally.
Okay, so I guess
that's what the deep web is.
Okay, so that is sort of back-end because that's like that's the server-side programming, and the surface web is the client-side programming.
Yeah. Oh, and it's just whatever's in servers, and it's whatever is.
Oh no, okay, I can see that. I thought you were saying something like, oh, it's it's too far behind that the users can't interact with, because users still you can.
Well, the deep web still
technically you can interact with a database through a user interface, and it's called SQL injection, and it's if you're into contact form or something, and you type in drop tables. So you have to the programmers have to put something in.
I don't know what you're saying.
You can
No, I'm not asking for an explanation. I'm saying it might be too in-depth.
No, it's
all
not
I'm going to say is that maybe whatever you're talking about is what those big blue lights are that connect from the ground to the surface, well, to the top of the deep web.
Okay, yeah, the connections between the front end to the back end and the client side and the server side.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's miscellaneous, we're moving on.
It's SQL injection.
They're never going to talk about SQL in this show.
What do they do?
They're never going to.
I would die. If they start talking about programming, I'd be like, yes!
And then you'd say, oh, all the children just stopped watching.
Oh, no, but I would watch. I would watch as a kid.
Oh, and the other thing is that we found out they're moving to a new and apparently better time slot.
Yes.
Which must mean it's successful.
Yeah, we already knew that prior. Yes, it's moving to a better time slot, which is good.
And that took up this is what's happening next time, because there's nothing happening next time.
And that's why a time slot is really good for things, because Yuri on Ice is quite popular, but because there's so much stuff on Japanese television, I think it has the 2 a.m. time slot.
Why didn't we watch anime when we were in Japan? I said that one time we saw
Dragon
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, because we were just... Yeah, why didn't we?
I think it's because I wouldn't understand any of it.
I would...
maybe they probably weren't on the channels we had.
Probably would be. We had a few channels.
Okay.
We definitely had cable because we had the movie channel.
I don't remember.
But
that was a hotel-provided movie channel.
No.
We flew through a lot of channels. I don't remember ever seeing any anime.
Anime's not always on.
I wish it was.
Yeah, when we go back to Japan, we'll watch more anime.
And I won't understand it.
I might be able to understand it by then, because I can already... Like, when I was watching Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid last week, I could understand some of it without the subtitles. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
For ranking-gu, so I put this just under the Ray and Hackmon. Do you remember that time we did that? Yep, remember when we did that? Yes, that episode. Because, while that episode was, sort of on the same level, and it's not super far down low. It is the lowest of the 20. The episodes are higher than 20, and it's So it's not particularly high, but it's also better than the first... The episodes that we said were really bad, and it's just above Eri's introduction episode. So it's sort of on that level, which is alright. Like, I really want to see episode 4 be knocked out of place, and I have a lot of hopes for the upcoming episodes, because we're getting the new opening and ending next episode, which actually has spoils in it.
Big spoils.
It's a spoil that you wouldn't let me show you, but you're going to be showing it in the recap episode.
Yeah, but at least it'll be the show naturally showing it to me, not you being like, look at this thing you don't have to be excited for anymore.
Yeah, so that's... And it's pretty cool. It's got Appmon in it. Appmon's my friend.
I got a non-spoiler slight hint in Zelda, and then at the end of it, when I got the thing that they hinted at, I was like, this would have been more interesting if I didn't get the hint.
Yeah, that's fair. But I like knowing things about Appmon because, I don't know, it's probably bad because it...
Is it because you're the biggest nerd in the world?
It has the effect of, like, I'm looking, for example, this episode, I was really looking forward to this episode. It was like, something big happens. This episode's meant to be great, it's meant to, trump Tamers. This episode was... If this was a Tamers episode, I probably would have given it a 6.
Yeah, it's mediocre.
Like, it's not terrible, but it's just, I don't know, there was a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
There was worse, but there's a lot better, and I want Appmon to do better than this. I expect, when someone says, big reveal in Appmon, I'm just like, okay, this is going to knock me off the chair.
The grandpa thing was a much bigger reveal than this.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Even the Christmas episode where the Appy Drive spoke to him, that was woof.
That wasn't a reveal, though.
Every time Eugen does the eyes.
Oh my god!
Woof.
That's what I wanted it to be resolving. We're getting to episode 51, and then we're like, nah, dude.
Like, I just wanted Eugen to be one of the caved figures.
That's what I thought it would happen.
Yeah.
Made sense to introduce all these mystery things, just so that you can set off your expectations of all the
However,
Appmon. To be like, it's human.
What if Hajime has been turned into Afro Man?
That'd be the dumbest. That doesn't make any sense.
What if, though?
No.
Oh my gosh, but what if?
No.
I'll die.
What if Hajime is the chameleon toy?
What if Hajime no Ippo?
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway, so the next episode is a recap episode. Episode 26. I'm a protagonist? The meeting with Gatchmon.
Hajime means step.
Hajime means no is beginnings, so Hajime no is beginnings.
But Hajime no Ippo is the first step.
Yes.
Because...
It's beginning step. Yes.
Yeah.
No, so it's not step.
Yeah, no, it is.
No.
No, this is totally how it works.
It's
when I get the English translation, I should be able to perfectly leap it back through any idiom.
Welcome to Lost in Translation, Mon, where translations just work like that, right?
When translation goes to die.
So, just so you know, since it's a recap episode, both of us will watch it, but if Jay doesn't feel like talking about a recap episode, because if he says that if nothing interesting happens
at all, I'm not going to talk about it.
It will be a solo episode, because I just want to cover it. It might be like 3 minutes of my thoughts.
It might be like that joke counter was really funny.
Okay, so we know that there's a catchphrase counter, and I feel like that could make the episode better than episode 25.
Sure.
Just that joke. Because that's good. That's gold.
The key question is the counter over the number of episodes they have been in?
Oh, yes.
Well,
I've seen the
that
screenshot
means
of the
they've done it too many.
Yeah. There's an Eri counter and an Astra counter.
Oh, good.
And they see who wins.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
And no, that probably is going to be the best part. But yes, so episode 26 might just be me. It, might be...
I might pop in right at the beginning to be like, this was a recap, and then leave.
Yeah, and...
Get ready.
Because I'd also like to talk about the intro and ending, because I've seen both already, but I like them. So you can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on @TranslationMon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will and a Reddit thread in the Appmon subreddit. We'd really appreciate if you were to review us on iTunes and on Stitcher or wherever else you listen to the podcast. We have a website now, and you can check this out to see our Apply ranking and our weekly poll. We actually have 2 polls at the moment. One about Frontier, what's better, Home Away from Home or Home Alone to Korea Returns? And the other poll is just one about our Lane coverage, and it should we watch it in English or should we listen to it and watch it in Japanese with English subtitles, because the English version has Digimon voice actors, and the Japanese one has Alice in it, as in Alice, the plot device.
She didn't exist. I don't remember her at all. No one does.
So if you have feelings about that, vote. We also have a survey going on at the moment, which we've spoken about in episode 96. You can donate to our Patreon, which is linked in the description, from as little as $1 a month. $1 a month gets you access to our private listener Slack chat group, but higher levels gets you things like exclusive notes, information about the show, early and unedited episode recordings, the ability to suggest discussion topics both on topic and off topic, and Skype calls with May and Jay, and there's also more. So check that out if you're interested. We are also really, really close to our next Patreon milestone, which will allow us to increase the quality of all the content that we provide.
And thank you to our current Patreon supporters, Sam Krieger, who has a podcast called The Moncast, which talks about Pokemon and Digimon, Stevie, who's also Stevie on YouTube, and you can find the link to their channel in the description, Wuchinglong, who you can find at twitch.tv/Wuchinglong, Metal Mamimon, Joe, Anime Guy, who is Anime Guy Kurosaki and the number 1 on YouTube, Chuckmon, Ishbal Bamba, Hiro Lado, who is at Hiro Lado on Twitter, Jason Morosky, Ryuchi, who is Frost Magic on Archive of Our Own, Stephen Reeves, who is at WildLink64 on Twitter, Kaidawashi, Mac, Noam, Riku, Red and Garen from Breakfast with Digimon, which is another Digimon podcast you can find on SoundCloud right now, Chisai, who you can follow at Chisai236 on Tumblr, Corey, Kyle, The Lady Bugman, whose anime blog you can find at bagubaragu.wordpress.com, Smallwolfie, who's on Tapastic at Smallwolfie and has a comic called Eden of Melancholy, Lupin, and Tom.
You can also make a one-off donation to PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/Airjamon. Make sure that's notes for the podcast. We'll see you guys next time for a recap. Maybe not Jay, but definitely May. See ya. Bye.
Bye.